Hello and welcome to the first part of a three-part video I've called Mirror Mirror on the Wall. The aim of this video is to help you build your self-esteem on your path to success. Now, it's all about getting the giant in you to arise, to walk in life with confidence. So, what is self-esteem? Let's get into it. Self-esteem is simply how you feel about yourself. It's important because that feeling affects everything. That feeling affects your relationship with people. That feeling affects your posture. It affects your mindset, even your attitude. Either you bring forth a good attitude, a positive or a negative attitude. Now, I found out that humans are like living magnets. We attract what we are and we repel what we're not. Now, if we call ourselves a living magnet, then it is very, very important for us to make sure that we feel good or we feel high or we feel excellent about ourselves. Now, self-esteem is a product of your self-image. Your self-image is a picture that you have of the inside of yourself, on the inside of yourself. And that picture literally controls your life. That picture is your mental state. It drives you from when you wake and when you go to bed. You can never attempt to do anything above or beyond the capacity of the person in that picture on the inside. So if you can find anything that you need to do to that picture, it's important that we do that first. That picture is what influences your self-esteem, and your self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. Now, for example, on the inside, if you feel as a successful person, then you'll feel good about yourself. Now, if that picture on the inside of you is that of a failure, then you don't feel very good about yourself. And you know what? Most of us don't feel good about ourselves when we look in the mirror. We don't like the person we see. You see, the issue is not the exact image you see in that mirror. The issue is the picture on the inside and the feeling that it is producing. So the self-esteem then is a product of your self-esteem, of your self-image, and that image is where we need to start from. That image gives you your self-esteem. It produces or it gives you the confidence that you need for yourself and the confidence to believe that you can do things. Now, do you feel inferior to others when you're in a meeting, when you're on an outing with your friends, or even do you feel inferior to your spouse? That feeling of inferiority is a measure of your self-esteem. I can relate to this myself when I feel that someone is better than myself. And I'm sure you can relate to this also. Now, self-image creates the self-confidence and the belief in our ability to succeed. Now, I'm sure you're asking yourself, where does the word self-respect then come from? You see, your self-image will affect your self-esteem, and not just only your self-esteem, it will also affect your self-respect. Now, self-respect is how you treat yourself. Most people don't treat themselves with dignity, and I believe that we all deserve to be treated as royals. But again, it depends a lot on the self-image. Whatever it is that you want to buy in life, someone is always available to sell it to you. Everybody then, in a way, battles self-esteem because there are always people to treat you, either good or bad, but it depends on what you portray or how you portray yourself. Now, don't be surprised. Everybody battles with some level of low self-esteem because it's a human condition, unfortunately. A lot of time, we are busy thinking that we are inferior to other people who are also thinking of themselves as inferior to somebody else. A lot of time, this thought doesn't help because we don't even know what the other person is thinking, but we are projecting a very negative attitude to life. Low self-esteem, one thing it does, it marks itself in different ways. Sometimes it marks itself in arrogance. Sometimes it marks itself in extreme, excessive external appearance makeup. Now, research has proven this, that everyone has some level of battle with low self-esteem. Most people don't even get to learn how to build their own self-esteem in life, and that's where people get stuck. Some do get to understand that even though they have lots of opportunities, what they need to do first is develop and build their own self-esteem, but some don't. Now, it's guaranteed that low self-esteem will sabotage our ability to succeed. Irrespective of the opportunities in the world, lots of people that battle self-esteem, even the bosses at work, great men in life, despite the phenomenal opportunities and they've risen up in the ranks, some of them still battle low self-esteem. Some of them have loads of money, but loads of money do not resolve the issue of low self-esteem. Low self-esteem itself produces insecurity. Somebody else's success can be a threat to your own success. That thought itself is the fact that we believe that we have low self-esteem. You've got to deal with it. Now, believing that you are less than you really are is probably your greatest problem or your greatest cause of failure. One, you can be in that position when you believe that you are less than you really are. It's a big problem. You will be making wrong decisions. You'll be taking the wrong actions. You'll be acting below par. You will be shooting below your capability. You will frustrate your own potentials. So let's start from there. Don't believe that you are a victim. Always see yourself as a victor. Like I would like to illustrate. If I take a dirty currency, roughened up, and I take a new Crips note, let me ask you, what's the value of the dirty currency that's seen life and the new Crips currency just released from the bank? You will tell me it's the same value. Okay then. Since both of them have no difference than the external appearance, they still hold the same value. I would like to say to you today, if you have been battered by life or you've not been battered by life, you still have value in you. People and circumstance will always put the wrong label on you and me. So yes, it's very important to get our identity sorted and get it right. You see, people, including parents, including teachers, including authority figures, all have self-esteem, and their own self-esteem is the way that they've taught us how to see ourselves. So, for us to develop that self-esteem, for us to have self-worth for ourselves, we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to be able to understand exactly where did we get it wrong? Where did we start feeling very, very bad about ourselves? Where did we allow circumstance to begin to define our lives? I want you to think back to the beginning. Look at the genesis. Where did this low self-esteem generate from? Has it come from the words that have been spoken to you, or situations, or some external factor that has driven you into a place of low self-esteem? Has someone used the wrong words to define you, that you can never be anything in life, and that has knocked off your confidence? I want to say, you go back to that, deal with that, and speak to yourself and say, no, I am better than that. Because that's where we need to fix it. Because the genesis is where we need to go back. A quick recap then on the first video today. We understand now what self-esteem is, and we know that self-image is what produces that self-esteem, and self-image is that mental picture of ourselves, while self-esteem is how we feel about ourselves, and self-respect is how you treat yourself. We also know from today's video or teaching that self-esteem is the way and the process that gears you up to be able to build your own life. It helps you to be able to be that person that you really are. We also know that there's always a source or a genesis of low self-esteem. We know definitely now that some of our self-esteem, good or bad, low or high, has come from maybe a teacher that has high self-esteem and has helped us build ours, or if the teacher has some level of low self-esteem, has put that into us through some words or some things. We also found out that if our parents have good high self-esteem, they've helped us to build ours, and if our parents suffered from a low self-esteem, that could have been passed on to us in a way. Now, that's where we need to find out where our low self-esteem generate itself from. What's the genesis of our low self-esteem? How did we become this? Now, when you can find out that, oh, it's the word that came from this place, or it's the circumstance that labeled me, or it's this external factor that has caused me to have so low self-esteem, we can then begin to address the issue from there. But without knowing the foundation or the source, or thinking back to that pain or those things that caused us to have so low self-esteem, we'll only be dealing with the how do you call it? Not the root of the matter, but you see, you need to go to the root of the matter of low self-esteem. You need to uproot the root. You need to deal with the root. And that's what I want us to do. I want us to go away today as a result of this first video and think exactly what is the genesis of low self-esteem in my life. What circumstances, what words, what external factors have caused me to have low self-esteem. And then begin to speak to yourself. Begin to think of yourself as a victor and not a victim, and begin to say, that is not me. Begin to change the image you see in the mirror. Begin to change the image you see in the mirror and begin to say to yourself, this is the new me. This is the new me. And let that begin to generate that, build up that appropriate self-esteem in you. Begin to change that mental picture in you. And as we go on into the second video, which I will be inviting you to join me in, we'll be looking at the signs that really show that we have low self-esteem, that we need to, that really call us back to say, I need to work on this now. But take away this today. Go away, look at those things, that place that it started from, and begin to deal with that source, that root, and begin to say to yourself, I am a champion. I see a champion arising. I see a giant arising in the place of work, in the marketplace, in ministry, in the religious setting, in industry. I see a new me. And this is how you can start to build your self-esteem. I'll invite you to the next video and hope to see you shortly. Thank you for watching this. If you've enjoyed this video, I want you to click the subscribe button and join me in this journey. And I want you to also click on the notification bell so that when new videos come on, you are notified. Thank you very much, and see you soon. Bye for now.